edition. Yes, I was in Hurricane Fiona in the Dominican Republic, which happened, I can't remember the dates, but I'll put the dates up right now. What a crazy trip I had in the Dominican Republic. It was absolutely insane. And when I'm talking, it was mad. It was just such a mad trip. And the biggest part of the trip was, it was my honeymoon, believe it or not. My honeymoon in the Dominican Republic, and we had a hurricane. Can you believe it? How insane. As every adventure, we did a lot of excursions. Whenever we go to holidays, different destinations, we always look to do certain excursions. One of these excursions was swimming with dolphins. I've always wanted to swim with dolphins since I was, I don't know, I've always wanted to do it. It's always been on my bucket list. Dolphins.
The stink dolphins.
What are we doing?
We're
What are we doing?
swimming with dolphins.
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 And we all have these bucket lists, right? You know, these bucket lists where, you know, you want to do certain things in your life. I've always wanted to swim with dolphins. Swimming with dolphins has always been one of the biggest, highest things on my list. Apart from that, it's going to Egypt, riding camels, going to the tombs, all that sort of stuff, seeing the pyramids. That's one of my highest bucket list items, which is going to be coming not next year, the year after. I want to get my paddy course done, which I explained in my last YouTube video. But if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. Really means a lot. Subscribe, like this video, share with your friends. Hopefully I can get more subscribers, more followers, and, you know, yeah, bring you guys on my journey. So yeah, please, it really does help. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell notification as well. Dominican Republic, what an amazing place this is. And from the minute we got there, we kind of splashed out on this one, you know. We got a taxi. We never really get a taxi, we usually just go for the coach. We got a taxi this time, from the airport to the hotel, and oh my god, treatment is so much better. You just get your bags in a taxi, off you go, straight to the resort. Oh my god, so much better than getting a coach, because like you sit on these coaches. We got a coach from when we went to Spain recently. From the last YouTube video, we got a coach, and the coach was waiting there for ages, and it was like 34 degrees. And the aircon wasn't even working in the coach, and it was insane. But anyway, that was last video. So this video is all about my experience with the Dominican Republic and the hurricane, obviously. So in the Dominican Republic, absolutely lovely resort. The resort was absolutely amazing. Secrets Cap Cana. There's a group on Facebook with all of it on, and Secrets Cap Cana, you know, absolutely amazing place. Although we spent so much on this holiday, it was a huge tipping culture there, because a lot of Americans go there. And when we got there, we had this honeymoon banner on the door at the resort. We were greeted with these champagnes, like champagne, absolutely lovely. We went to our room. The room was absolutely stunning. We had, like, obviously been on a honeymoon. We had like little roses and, you know, all that sort of stuff, and it was absolutely amazing. And yeah, really nice resort. And yeah, going around the resort, lovely. The pools were nice. It was just like all amazing. Like what you would expect from like a 5-star resort, except from the tipping culture obviously was a bit mental, because they always expected tips, which was fine. You know, we did tip. We had a concierge which we could WhatsApp, ask him for different things. We could ask him for towels, we can ask him for all these different things. But again, other parts of the resort, you know, we had like we had dinner on the beach. I think it was like the first or second night we got there, which was again lovely, but extra obviously, but yeah, really nice. And then yeah, we moving on to the excursions. We obviously looked at a lot of excursions. One of them, swimming with dolphins. The dolphin swimming one was a bit nerve-wracking really, because these are massive fish, and I know they're not like whales, but they're still big. They're still big old fishes, right? Massive old fish. Went into the water. We got the most highest package because, you know, if I'm gonna swim with dolphins, I want to do it properly. So we had, I think it was 2 dolphins instead of 1 per person or whatever. Yeah, these dolphins were lovely. They're in the sea, obviously. The only problem with that is, you know, they were in these big old cages. Not cages, but you know, they weren't like chained up or anything. But yeah, like for me, I like animals being free. Like all these excursions are amazing. I like the animals to be a bit more freer, you know, able to move about a bit more, or just seeing them in the wild. So yeah, although they were in this big old tank, or not tank, but they had all nets around, although they were in this, it was like such an amazing experience. 10 out of 10, absolutely amazing. Would recommend it to absolutely anyone, but if you're going to do it, try and do it in a setting probably where they're out in the wild a bit more. Obviously a bit more better for the dolphins, and you know, a bit more humane as well. But this was the only experience we could have done it, so we did it, and absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10. And then moving on, we went on a buggy experience. Now, being a Dominican Republic, we got a coach ride to this buggy place, where we all got these buggies, and yeah, very fun experience, because it was like an off-road experience, in the mud as well. Absolutely amazing. I'll put a clip, and as you can see by the clip, like we were going through all the dirt, and like I was driving fast. We had like bandanas on, which was cool, but the biggest thing I could take away from this was, you know, I always like to push the limits whenever I go on holiday, and you'll see by one of my Mexico videos, I drove a speedboat at one point. I'll put a little clip here, but I drove a speedboat, and I'm always like wanting to push the speedboat to its limit and really like go for it. And I was going out, and because we had to all be in a line, but I like kind of come out and give it some and then go back in. And that's exactly what I did with the buggies as well. So came out with the buggy, absolutely floored it, and then got told off, had to pull back in, and yeah, like I love it. I always wanted to push the boundaries, so you know, it is what it is. So yeah, buggy experience was absolutely amazing. But yeah, the biggest take home from the buggy experience was the little kids coming up to you, trying to sell you things. Like there was like all these like locals like trying to sell you like water, grapes, roses, all this other stuff, which was insane. And they were literally, I'm not kidding you, they were jumping on the buggies whilst it was moving, and trying to sell these things, hanging on onto these buggies. I was like, what is going on? Like, people are literally getting swamped by these locals, which was cool. It was fun. What an experience. And then, yeah, after the buggy experience, we came back and went into this underground cave. Underground cave was absolutely amazing. So fresh. Like, the water was fresh, really cold, but so clear, nice. We got some photos taken. They, I swear, like every excursion, it's an opportunity for them to make money. Now, obviously, I would love them to make more money and, you know, make a lot more, but like, to be pushy about it, which is fine. You know, they got to make their money, but you're like, oh god, like, they were like trying to get us to pose all the time with all these different photos, and like, I always try and buy some photos at the end, because it's quite nice to have them for when, you know, you can look back at them later on, which is cool. But yeah, the underground cave experience was really cool, really like cool, cold water. Great experience. And then obviously we did like a lot of lounging around. So apart from the excursions, we did a lot of lounging around. We had a lot of massages, swimming in the pool. Yeah, it was just like luxury, 10 out of 10. Like, we ordered so much room service because we could order breakfast, we could order like any time of the day. We could order food off of this app, which is so cool, and you can request towels and all this sort of stuff. So it was like pure of a luxury, but absolutely amazing. Like I think I put on so much weight on that holiday, it was insane, because I could just eat and order food and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, absolutely amazing. And then we did, what was our other experiences? We did quite a few different like excursions. Obviously it was the caves, dolphins, and then we went to, so just before, so at the end of the holiday, like roughly at the end of the holiday, we were like, I was tracking this hurricane, kept tracking it, and just seeing what's going on, seeing what's happening. We managed, like, every single holiday. I don't know if anyone else does this. If you do this, comment below, let me know. But because we're a couple and, you know, we've been together for so long, and, you know, you get to one of those things where you're like, what do we talk about? What are we actually going to be talking about on this holiday? We get bored, you know. Although we like spending time together, you know, you want to have other people to bounce off of. And let me know if you do this. We actively search around for couples and like people to meet up with, and experience things with, you know. Like, I've met people in excursions before, who are staying in the same resort, and it's all good fun. So we essentially started talking to these people, really lovely couple, and then we spoke to these other people. One of them was a scientist, like, crazy, but yeah, really lovely people. And then we started like meeting up with them a little bit more. Then the hurricane started creeping in, and this is when shit hit the fan. Like, it hit the fan, big time, which was insane, like absolutely insane. So I was tracking this hurricane for like a week, I think, seeing what's going to happen, seeing what's going to go down, if it's going to miss us, is it going to miss us? Probably not. We were getting warnings from the hotel, and like, so we got to the point where the day before we went on an excursion. Now, I'll talk about this excursion before the hurricane, obviously, because this is what we did the day before the hurricane came. So the day before, we went on an excursion to swim with rays, and also swim with nurse sharks. So on this excursion, we we essentially
It'd be good if we had a carrot.
got a boat to this little area where these rays were and these nurse sharks were. Absolutely 10 out of 10 experience again. We snorkeled, and I did a lot of snorkeling on holiday. I love snorkeling, as you can probably tell, and obviously as you can tell I want to do my paddy course. But yeah, we did loads of like snorkeling bits. We dived down and like saw these stingrays, and like there were parts where I just took my life jacket off and just dived down and went up close to these stingrays. And I'm talking, these stingrays were literally as big as me. They were insane, humongous, these things. One of the guys who worked there brought a stingray up and started showing us the stingray and stuff like that, which was absolutely cool. And then we went into the part where the nurse sharks were. Absolutely cool experience swimming the nurse sharks. Again, dived down and tried swimming with them. Big old fishes they were. And yeah, there was like a part where I don't know if I got it on film. Hopefully I did. If I've got it, I'll put the clip up. If I haven't, then you know I haven't. But there was a part where I dived down. I saw this shell, and this shell, like, I'm not kidding you, was like huge, like humongous. Like, this shell was like this big old shell. Really cool looking. But yeah, if I haven't got the clip, I won't put it up. If I have, I'll put it up. Yeah, so back to it. So then we went kayaking a little bit. Now I got a bit nervous on the kayak because sometimes the sea scares me and I get a bit anxious and I'm like, oh god. We essentially started kayaking out and went out and round this boat, and it was like we did like a massive loop, and it started getting choppy, and I was like, oh my god, like what if we fall in, what if we just get swept away, and then like the people there are like, where have they gone? Essentially, like a final destination sort of thing. But yeah, amazing. And then under the barge thing, because it was like a floating barge thing, we got food and tea, coffee, drinks and all that sort of stuff. Under the barge was tons of fish, so diving down, I dived down, and there was like all coral reefs, and the coral reefs are sharp, like very very sharp, like dangerous, like you could cut yourself on them very easy, and I did. I think I cut my leg, but it was only like a small tiny cut, which is nothing. But yeah, tons of fish, really cool experience. The next day was when the hurricane. So next day comes, we go out, we start sunbathing. Now there was not much point because it was getting cloudy, getting colder, getting weird. Rain started settling in a little bit, like we had little patches of rain, and this is when it started getting pretty insane.